You're watching KSG News, where you get all the latest updates from across the globe to help with your exam preparations. We begin with GS Paper 3. Even as the country pushes for its expansion of renewable energy projects, coal is set to remain as the predominant fuel in India's energy mix in the foreseeable future. As per the 19th Electric Power Survey, out of the All India power generation installed capacity of 6,19,066 megawatts by the end of 2026 to 2027, coal-based projects would have a high 40% share at around 2,38,150 megawatts. However, this level of environmentally polluting coal-based capacity is a big fall from current levels, where coal plants account for more than 50% of installed capacity of roughly around 3,40,000 megawatts. The government power survey clearly indicates big addition in renewable capacity in the country that is set to become the largest energy provider to the country over the next 5 years. So renewable capacity is set to increase from current levels of just about 1 lakh megawatt to over 2,75,000 megawatts by 2026 to 2027. This is much more than coal capacity. The All India power generation installed capacity by the end of 2026 to 2027 is estimated to be 6,19,066 megawatts, which includes 2,38,150 megawatts coal, 25,735 megawatts gas, 63,301 megawatts hydro, 16,880 megawatts nuclear, and 2,75,000 megawatts renewable energy sources to fully meet the electricity demand projected as per the 19th Electric Power Survey on all India basis. As per the recent study carried by Central Electricity Authority on optimal generation capacity mix for 2029 to 2030, the likely all India installed capacity in 2029 to 2030 is estimated to be 8,17,254 megawatts, which includes 2,66,911 megawatts coal, 25,080 megawatts gas, 71,128 megawatts hydro, 18,980 megawatts nuclear, and 4,35,155 megawatts renewable energy sources. The focus of government is to increase the share of renewable energy which is available in plenty within the country to meet the requirement of the country and also export to our neighboring countries. Shifting focus to GS Paper 2, the Indian Institute of Science IISc Bangalore has secured the top position among the best higher education institutes in India, while Calcutta University became the best varsity in the country as per the recently published academic ranking of world universities. Now, what is this all about? As many as 15 Indian universities have made it to the academic ranking of world universities 2020, also known as Shanghai ranking, released recently. As per the ARWU ranking 2020 of top institutions in India, the Indian Institute of Science, or the IISc, was on the number 1 rank, while the University of Calcutta was on the 3rd spot among all premier higher educational institutions in the country. Meanwhile, worldwide, the Indian institutes are not even in the top 100 list. The best higher education institute, that is IISc Bangalore, is in the category of 501 to 600. Moving on to GS Paper 3, a high-level probe panel appointed by the Supreme Court to take erring cops to task for causing tremendous harassment and immeasurable anguish to ISRO scientist Dr. Nambi Narayanan in the 1994 espionage case has submitted its report to the Apex Court. The Supreme Court had on the 14th of September 2018 appointed the 3-member panel headed by its former judge D.K. Jain, while directing the Kerala government to cough up rupees 50 lakh compensation for compelling Narayanan to undergo immense humiliation. Now, what is this all about? The espionage case, which had hit the headlines in 1994, pertained to allegations of transfer of certain confidential documents on India's space program to foreign countries by 2 scientists and 4 others, including 2 Maldivian women. The 79-year-old former scientist, who was given a clean chit by the CBI, maintained that the Kerala police had fabricated the case and the technology he was accused to have stolen and sold in the 1994 case did not even exist at that time. Narayanan had approached the Apex Court against a Kerala High Court judgment. The Apex Court in its judgment had said, "We think that the obtaining factual scenario calls for the constitution of a committee to find out ways and means to take appropriate steps against against the erring officials. The case had caught attention in October 1994 when Maldivian national Rashida was arrested in Thiruvananthapuram for allegedly obtaining secret drawings of ISRO rocket engines to sell to Pakistan. Narayanan, the then director of the cryogenic project at ISRO, was arrested along with the then ISRO deputy director D. Sasikumaran and Fausia Hassan, a Maldivian friend of Rashida. The apex court had termed the police action against the ex-scientist of the ISRO a psychopathological treatment. It had said that his liberty and dignity, basic to his human rights, were jeopardized as he was taken into custody and eventually, despite all the glory of the past, was compelled to face cynical abhorrence. In some more updates related to GS Paper 2, the last ship stranded by the grounding of a giant container vessel in the Suez Canal should pass through the waterway on the 3rd of April 2021, according to the Canal Authority, which said an investigation into the incident would report its findings soon. Osama Rabi, chairman of the Suez Canal Authority, said 85 ships were expected to pass the canal from both the sides on the 3rd of April. They will include the last 61 ships out of the 422 that were queuing when the Ever Given container vessel was dislodged, thus ending the backlog of shipping that built up during the crisis. International supply chains were thrown into disarray when the 400-meter long or the 430-yard long Ever Given ran aground in the vital trade artery on the 23rd of March, with specialist rescue teams taking almost a week to free her after extensive dredging and repeated tugging operations. An SCA investigation began into what caused the vessel to run aground in the Suez Canal and block the waterway for 6 days. Going into some details about this, Suez Canal is sea-level waterway running north to south across the Isthmus of Suez in Egypt to connect the Mediterranean and the Red Seas. The canal separates the African continent from Asia, and it provides the shortest maritime route between Europe and the lands lying around the Indian and Western Pacific Oceans. It is one of the world's most heavily used shipping lanes. That's it in this edition of KSG News. Stay tuned for more such short, concise and informative videos.